Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is showtime, baby, as Zach Bouchard clearly pointed out. And Pranav Kanavala, thank you very much for joining us. Redeeming in the booth with the boss's boss for 27,000 liters of fuel. We'll get that done in a couple of weeks, I would imagine, as we're just wrapping up the Pro to Pavement Championship. Without any further ado, let's take a look at the calendar and see what we're all up to. The GT4 rookies on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will round things out at Mazzano for their penultimate race. That'll be tomorrow for a 20-minute double sprint race. The GT4 Open Series at Mazzano will be a 50-minute race for the GT4 Open Championship on Monday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. GT3 West Coast Wednesday Championship will round things out at Snetterton for their penultimate round for their 50-minute race. GT3 Championship Thursday on iRacing will finish things off this week on the Charlotte Roval on February 27th. The Multi-Class Masters just ran at Spa-Francorchamps this past February 21st, and this February 28th will be the Orca Masters Championship at Spa. Following that will be Sao Paulo for both events starting March 7th and then March 14th, respectively. The Pro to Pavement GT3 Championship will be at Sunday, and that's this Sunday, obviously. We're racing at Valencia on February 23rd. Next week will be Watkins Glen to be the penultimate race, and then the finale event will be on March 9th for their 80-minute race, where someone will be decided to go from sim to IRL. With a IRL track day with a track prepped car and 500 buckaroos in their pocket for travel expenses. Qualifying session is already getting underway, so let's just jump on over to that without any further hindrances and delay in the program. Looks like Andre Alex Alfonso and the 666 is driving for Intercontinental Racing, and they're in 10th place right now. Renato Dornelis for Vacuum Racing, the number 3 in first position. Thiago Denarte, driving the Ford Mustang, is in second place with the number 23. Chandler Williams in third place for the Please Brake at T1 team. Chandler Williams just got bumped back by Kenneth Porter to second for the Racers Edge Motorsport. Number 84, Honda NSX. Chandler Williams is in the Please Brake at T1 team in fourth place, the number 17. Eduardo Galbinski for the Multi-Tap Racing, number 233. They're in fifth place. Jonathan Clifford, the Big Red Dog, in sixth place. Anthony Kelly from FNM in eighth place now, as everybody gets bumped back as Michael Fermato goes into the second place spot. Michael Fermato driving the number 11 Fear Nothing Moto Neon Boatley. And of course, we're racing around Valencia. The track temperature is 24 degrees. The ambient temperature also 24 degrees. The track temperature, or the track conditions, are optimum. It looks like clear skies all around. Obviously a little overcast, and that's mostly due to the fact that it is 6:05 in the morning here in Spain, and 13 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in this qualifying session before things get wrapped up, folks. Plenty of time for drivers to get their laps in. It looks like that 999, that'll be Quinn Smith down in 14th place, stopped there on the racetrack or back to pit lane. Hopefully they'll be able to run yet again. Renato Dornelis sets a 1:30.227. Hello, Alex Hansen. Welcome to the stream, El Nidar. Thank you very much for joining us, my good friend. Renato Dornelis, Jade Hutchinson, Tiago Denarte, Michael Fermato, Chandler Williams, Kenneth Porce II, Eduardo Galbinski, Quinn Smith is headed out onto the racetrack with 12, just under 13 minutes remaining in the session. And drivers still out running their absolute best possible. Octane WG04 asked, what's the championship look like? Is it close? Well, I'll tell you all about the championship. Thank you very much for that humble reminder to give some of the race details out. Right now it's Jade Hutchinson in P1, taking a DNS and his drop round during round 5 last week running. But he's done nothing but win when he has shown up. 4 first place finishes. That'll give him 244 points with a 5-point penalty attached to his name. With 244 points at the top. Renato Dornelis not too far behind with 231 points, taking a drop round during round 4 and taking P1 during round 5. Quinn Smith in 3rd place with 197 points. So it's really just close up at the front. 244 to 231. Jade Hutchinson leads over Renato Dornelis right now. And Tiago Denarte in 4th place. Michael Fermato in 5th place. Jonathan Clifford, the big red dog, in 6th place. Eduardo Galbinski in 7th place. Jihad Abdallah says Galbinski is going to win this one. Where is Galbinski? Down in 8th place for the 233 Aston Martin Vantage V8. The Aston Martin Vantage V8 GT3 with a 4-liter V8 twin turbo, pushing around 500 horsepower. Good braking performance, balanced handling, and effective aerodynamic design. Maintains stability at high-speed corners. Should do pretty well around a track like Valencia. But Eduardo Galbinski down in 7th place in the championship for now. Timothy Jadubal in 8th. Chandler Williams in 9th. Kenneth Porce II in 10th position. Then Matt Ardham in 11th. Ali Raza in 12th. Houston Eiston in 13th. Gil Silverland in 14th. Anthony Kelly in 15th. Andre Alex Alfonso. Jakob Stofko. Hunter Davis. Alex Freeman, Andre Lloyd, Wilson Fernandez, Alex Hansen, Erica Costin, Mark Antoine Landry, Jace Wright, Professor Kenotis, Harold McDonald, Vedik Ostitsev, Jake Wells, Lud Flores, Casey Schutte, Nick Moselli, Drew Burakovsky, Rogerio Santos, Jeff Spangler, Michael Moning, and Luke Lazama being the 37 drivers in this championship that have signed up. Whether they have decided to run or not, that's up to them. Gil Silverland, the number 400, running in 10th place right now, 1 second off the good of Renato Dornelis in P1. Just catching up on the Twitch chatters, seeing if there's anything that I missed. What's the championship look like? And the big stinky cheese man of Jason Provolo joining us in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for being here, everybody. Appreciate all the love and support that you guys are giving to the Trackalicious family. Yellow flags wave for Jade Hutchinson somewhere on the racetrack. He warps back to pit lane and rolls right on out in towards T1, it looks like. Oh, I just realized I'm still on camera. Let's turn that off. Nobody wants to see my ugly mug. Renato Dornelis sitting pretty with a 130.227. And it looks like a 130.262 for Jaid Hutchinson. In second place, and then Thiago Dinarte, the 130.380. Wilson Fernandez, a 130.6. Kenneth Porce II driving that Honda NSX, 130.657. 656 for Michael Fermato, 680 for Chandler Williams, 832 for Jonathan Clifford, and then the 131s start with Eduardo Galbinski, Gil Silverland, Anthony Kelly, Hunter Davis, Jake Wells, Matt Artem, Alex Hansen, Houston Easton, Quinn Smith, Andre Alex Alfonso, and then Eric Kasi. 19 drivers that are still in this championship right now. Oh, Night Mambo. What's going on, my good friend? Welcome to the stream, Mr. Enrico. You were enjoying my mugshot. Well, you might have been the only one to enjoy it. Jaid Hutchinson right now, 35 thousandths away from Renato Dornelis. Cheers for Gil Silverland, the number 400 in chat from Macon Gizzoni. Macon Gizzoni. Macon Gizzoni. Sure, we'll go with that. Cheers for Gil Silverland from Macon. Cheers for Michael Formato from Tyler Carr, the head honcho there at the Fear Nothing Moto stable. Anthony Kelly running in running the number 7. McLaren. Oh, wrong Tyler, excuse me. More cheers for Gil Silverland in chat. Wrong Tyler says Tyler Carr. I apologize. Close at the top, but separated now. It was 3,500, or 35 thousandths, separating Jaid Hutchinson from Renato Dornelis, but now opened up to 0.140 of a second. And Anthony Kelly doing what Mike Noss likes to call practice, practice, practice your pit entry. And Anthony Kelly manages to practice that pit entry very well. Jaid Hutchinson technically going fast enough for pole position, but Renato Dornelis might be trying to snatch that back as we come through what looks like turn 11. Renato Dornelis does do a 130.007. Jaid Hutchinson getting to the line, 3/10 in his pocket right now, should go provisionally pole as we cross the line. And Jaid Hutchinson does go provisional pole, 129.857. And just bests Renato Dornelis by a 1/10.5. Renato Dornelis coming out of, Jaid Hutchinson coming out of pit lane now. Renato Dornelis also coming out on their out lap this time around. So both drivers thinking that they can find a little bit of improvement there on their personal bests. Thiago Dinarte in 3rd position right now. Wilson Fernandez in 4th place. Kenneth Portis II in 5th. Michael Formato in 6th. Chandler Williams in 7th. Jonathan Clifford in 8th. Jake Wells in 9th. Galbinski running in 10th. Gil Silverland in 11th. Anthony Kelly from FNM in 12th. Hunter Davis in 13th. Matt Artem in 14th. Quinn Smith in 15th. Alex Hansen in 16th. Houston Easton in 17th. Andre Alex Alfonso running in 18th, and Eric Costin in 19th place. Chandler Williams busted down to 7th position in the number 17. Gil Silverland trying to find some time coming through turn 1 of Aspar. And now through turn 2, the 400 Ford Mustang. Trying to put a lap together, finding some improvements, just about a 10th there. David Denarte, the 23, getting caught slowly around the track, as well as the number 17 of Chandler Williams. As they're both trying to get one last final run at it, but 30 seconds remaining on the clock. They've got to get the hurry up and go down. Checking out the 23, chasing down the 17 out in front. They've really got nothing separating the two of them. I believe those would be the please brake at T1 team members. Potentially trying to work together to get a little bit of a tow working out between the two of them. Jade Hutchinson, aka Jade Gotenson. There it is. The 17 pulls out of the way from the 23 out in front, giving him a little bit of a tow through turn 1. And that'll be all she wrote for that duo. Now the 3 will be the next driver to cross the line. That'll be Renato Dornelles. Is there any improvement that can be found coming around the final corner? No. The Vacuum Racing driver gives up on this attempt and pulls off there. The 26, the next driver to cross the line, but also pulling off down pit road. That'll be Jade Hutchinson. Next will be the 999 Quinn Smith. Will he drive across the line for the final time? Finds a half-second improvement up into 14th place. And then Gil Silverland is the last driver to cross the line. And that'll be all she wrote, folks. The time is switched over to 3 p.m. and we've got an 80-minute race in front of us. Looks like we're going to have a short formation lap here. So without further delay, let's get started with our livery rundown, shall we? Jade Hutchinson for the Visceral Esports team with a 129.857 takes pole position, driving the number 26. Renato Dornellis in P2, the number 3, just 1.5 tenths away from Jaid's time. Then Thiago Dinarte, the Brazilian, in the 23, third place car. Jonathan Clifford, the number 99 Ferrari, in fourth place. Wilson Fernandez will be the second McLaren on the grid, the 888 in the Brazilian colors, driving in fifth place. Kenneth Force the second, the number 84 Honda NSX, in sixth place. Michael Formato, the Bentley, number 11, is going to be in seventh place, the Canadian. Chandler Williams, the number 17, is in eighth place, 8 tenths off the good. Hunter Davis, the number 70, in ninth place, 9 tenths off of first place time. Then we have Jake Wells from Jake Wells Racing, and he is driving the number 527 in 10th place. Gil Sivelin, the number 400, 1 second away from pole position in 11th. Anthony Kelly from FNM, the number 7, sitting in 12th place around Valencia. Eduardo Galbinski, the Pin Hero car from Multi-Tap Racing, is going to be in the 223, and he's in 13th. Quinn Smith, the 999, is in 14th position. And we have Matt Artem, the number 414, and driving the lonely Audi on the grid, and he is back in 15th place. Houston Eiston, the 121, is in 16th position, the American. Alex Hansen and Mr. Doodle, the number 390, is sitting in 17th position. Andre Alex Alfonso, the 666 Nissan GTR, in 18th position, followed by Eric Gakassian driving the AMR V8 Vantage, and that'll be in fifth, the number 5, in 19th position.
10 seconds.
And you heard it there first, folks. 5 seconds till we get going. And it looks like we have a very short formation lap here. Excuse me. We have a full formation lap here, as this is the Pro to Pavement Championship. What else would you have expected? And we, of course, are driving around Valencia for this event. And this will be a 2.4 mile or 4 kilometer track, founded in 1999 and unchanged since there. We are located in Valencia, Spain, the Ricardo Tormo circuit. 14 corners total, 5 to the right, 9 to the left, 61 feet or 18.5 meters of elevation change. Whoever decided to call a centipede rather than a centipede? Wouldn't it be called a centipede? 100 legs? Doesn't that make more sense than calling it a centipede? Like, what's a pede? Call it a ped, like a pedestrian. Doesn't that make more sense? Just a random shower thought for you folks. Hopefully you feel the same way. It should be called a centipede, not a centipede. Let me know in the comments below what you think. This is the worst helicamera shot that I've ever seen at a race start. The 2-3-3 of Eduardo Galbinski starting from pit lane now. Green, 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 away we go. Jade Hutchinson leads over Renato Dornelis. And it looks like Thiago Dinarte closes in third place, bumps around Renato Dornelis, and there is all sorts of calamity. Half the grid seemingly involved in this one. And this would be a red flag restart if I've ever seen one. Holy Toledo. But the 26 escaping with his life somehow, some way. Jake Wells is now in second place. Started in P10. Wow. So the third place driver, the 8th place driver, the 6th place driver, the 2nd place driver, the 7th place driver, the 5th place driver, all out of this race at turn 1. Jonathan Clifford started in 4th, lost 3 off the start. Hunter Davis started in 9th, lost 2 off the start. Thiago Dinarte started in 3rd, lost 9 off the start. Andre Alex Alfonso started in 18th, gained 4 positions. Kenneth Forrest II started in 6th, lost 9 in 15th now. Renato Dornelis started in 2nd, now back to 16th position, lost 14. Michael Formato started in P7, now down in 17, lost 10. Wilson Fernandez started in 5th, now down to 18th, lost 13th off the start of this race. Now looking at Chandler Williams battling it out with Hunter Davis. Davis getting past Williams here, side by side is the battle. And that's that Eric Gakosian out in front. It is actually the 70 getting passed by the 17 there. Eric Gakosian, Jonathan Clifford, and Houston Easton getting involved in an incident now. Coming through turn 2, excuse me, also. Wowza, and it's all cracking off in the first 3 minutes of this race, folks. And they couldn't have even waited until we got onto the 3rd lap before all hell broke out. There is a big dive from that 999. That'll be Quinn Smith battling it out with Hunter Davis in the background here. These cameras are just absolutely abysmal right now. What are we even looking at? Quinn Smith leads Hunter Davis, Kenneth Portis II, Renato Dornelis, Alex Alfonso, Michael Formato in 15th now. And there's going to be some NASCAR bump and run from one AMR to the next one up in front, as it looks like Quinn Smith is giving Eric Gakosian a bit of a bump and run there. Eric Gakosian, whoa, talk about giving a bump and run. There is a bump and run from Quinn Smith into the back of Hunter Davis. Eric Gakosian now 3 wide in the background, 4 wide in the background, as it were. It looks like Eric Gakosian lost out to that one, and Michael Formato battling it out with Alex Alfonso coming through turn 3. And now through turn 4, the Bentley is trying to go the long way around the outside here. And now the outside will turn into the inside for the following corner. Will the M Sport Bentley be able to get it done? I believe it is finally able to get a move done to the inside line of Affection, the 7th corner here at Valencia. And now things have finally settled down by just a little bit, and this mid-pack, late-pack battle, whatever you want to call it, has finally fallen into a smooth and rhythmic voyage. Coming down the main straightaway, it looks like Formato loses a position to, Andre Alex Alfonso gains a position on Michael Formato. Formato loses out the run there on the 666. Yeah, Dr. Porkchop, definitely going to be quite a few spankings to be handed out at the end of this run. Quite a few spankings. Make sure you get your baby powder ready, because I think some booties are not going to want to get spanked, but I think they're just going to be needed to be handed out for the lap 1, turn 1 incidents. 3 wide coming into turn 7. No, just 2 by 2. No big deal here on the lap 3 of the hour and 20-minute race that we have. Oh my goodness, Alex Alfonso getting his nose chopped off there from Wilson Fernandez in the background. And Wilson Fernandez is on an obvious recovery drive right now, but there's no excuse for giving a big old bump and run to the car out in front. Hard to give excuses to hit things that you can actually see. Vamos Portugal, says Dr. Porkchop. Don't think that that's correct. I think we're actually in, Vamos Portugal for Andre Alex Alfonso. Oh my goodness, and there was a big checkup there. Jonathan Clifford, the big red dog, almost got sideswiped by Andre Alex Alfonso. And there was a big dive from Hunter Davis, number 70 Formula GT car. And now, officially, things have finally settled down just a little bit between all the drivers. I'm seeing half-second plus gaps between just about everybody throughout the field now. And I think this is the rhythm or rhyme that we'd expect most drivers to fall into throughout this stage of the race. Hopefully not at this stage of the race, but further on along the race. That would be more beneficial to some of them. And did we get a dropout from Matt Artem? No, Artem actually sitting in 4th place overall. To check in with him as he runs wide with Gil Silverland, who's running in 3rd. Agreed, lots of time to catch up. Let's catch up, Dr. Porkchop. How are you doing, my good friend? How have you been? How's the wife? Oh, you mean catch up is in time on track? Oh, yeah, sure. There's plenty of time for that. Alex Hansen going side by side with Anthony Kelly, Thiago Dinarte, and Chandler Williams battling it out amongst themselves. But it looks like team orders being handed out there. The 23 gets past the 17 with relative ease now. Anthony Kelly and F&M getting involved in an incident with Alex Hansen. I think we may have just barely missed that touch there. Here's Thiago Dinarte. Let's go on board with him and see how he's managing to catch up to the cars in front of him now. Oh, and there goes the F&M car of Anthony Kelly. Seemingly self-inflicted there. Goes the number 7 off into the S's. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened here to that Anthony Kelly car. Looking from a heli camera. Ooh, just braking there on the green stuff, all 4 tires. And that slip and slide cost him his life there. Now back to catch up with the please break at T1, boys. Someone obviously did not get the memo there at turn 1 and cost the 23 and the 17 their races. Actually, Chandler Williams still up a position off the start of the race. Thiago Dinarte only down 3, started in 3rd, now resting in 6th place. Matt Artem's gained 11, Alex Hansen's gained 12. Those are the 2 biggest gainers so far. We did lose 1 driver do something. I'm not quite sure what we lost or whom we lost. We did lose a solo driver from the 19 that started off the grid. Oh, and positions get swapped back. Chandler Williams and Thiago Dinarte inverting their positions now, as Chandler Williams has the cleaner looking of the 2 and the less battle scarred car. And maybe that was the agreement, was that you have 1 lap to get past Alex Hansen. If you can't get it done, hand the position back, please, and seemingly done so. There goes a big dive. Holy smokes, not again. Here goes Chandler Williams up the inside line on Alex Hansen. And Thiago Dinarte just... giving a big dose of the turbo to Alex Hansen. This is a great shot of the battle between Kenneth Forrest II and Alex Hansen coming down towards turn 1. Alex Hansen tried to close the door, gets run a little bit wide. Wilson Fernandez side by side, or will that be Renato Dornelis? That is Dornelis, excuse me. That is not Wilson Fernandez. Gets through on Alex Hansen. Hansen loses out a handful of positions after just 1 lap. And here is Mr. Wilson Fernandez driving the 888 in 11th place. Chasing down for Mato. Coming in towards turn 1. 888 going a little bit wide there. Behind Formato in the number 1. Chandler Williams getting involved. Well, a little bit of an overtaking situation there. It looks like getting passed by Kenneth Forrest II and Renato. 10-second recap and see if we can find out what happened here. Oh, a little too late. That should be Thiago Dinarte out in front with a 62-second pit stop out in front of his own teammate, 17. Imagine track limits will be a sure thing for the drivers to have to contend with here, and potentially some drivers getting drive-through penalties around this track. Quinn Smith now looking like he wants to take a bite out of Alex Hansen's Mr. Doodle car. There it is, the move around the inside-outside. The 999 makes it happen when the 390 goes and touches the gravel trap there coming through turn 5. Alex Alfonso battling with Houston Eiston in the battle for 15th and 16th. Thiago being the only of the drivers to have taken a full pit stop now. There goes Alex Alfonso to the inside line of turn 1, but a little indecisive there, and he definitely runs out wide coming through Aspar. Little indecision cost him about 1.22 seconds in lap time there behind Houston Eiston. Wilson Fernandez in the Vacom Racing Team 888 chases down Michael Formato in the Fear Nothing Moto car. Looks like nothing really separating these two drivers and a little bit of air right now. The times being their last 1:33.065 to 1:33.140. That'll be Formato gaining over Wilson Fernandez, but a couple of tenths here or there really doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things. We've got an hour and 30 seconds remaining in this race. As Dr. Porkchop pointed out earlier, plenty of time to catch back up, plenty of time for more racing to be taken back. Wilson Fernandez. Oh no, Matt Artem, the 414, stranded on track. Let's see what happened here. Oh, and just runs over the undulations in the curving. Doesn't lose out anything more than just a little bit of time between himself and Gil Silverland. And now is in the running. Kenneth Portis II drags him along 1.6 seconds away from Artem. 135.5 on that previous lap due to the incident that we saw. Kenneth Portis II, 131.6. So time definitely going his way. Plus driving 132.1. Jax James asks, is live timing available? I don't think I ever got set up for it. Otherwise, we would have a pit wall running. I apologize, Jax James. I will be your Shea Adams, your pit and paddock reporter. You asked me any question, and I'll give you live timing for it. Gaps come down quite substantially between Matt Artem, the 414, and the 84. .132.9 to a 132.0 between Matt Artem and Kenneth Portis. Portis being the faster of the two drivers. Drive-through penalty coming out for Andre Alex Alfonso. Breach of track limits for the 666. Hate to call it this way for my friend Matt Artem, but there's only one way this position is going to go, and that's backwards for him from 4th place back to 5th. Kenneth Portis II is a force to be reckoned with. There it is, the move done and dusted. Matt Artem getting passed by Kenneth Portis there. Jonathan Clifford, Hunter Davis down pit road they go. Alex Hansen taking their pit stop. Andre Alex Alfonso coming down pit road already. Serving that drive-through penalty, getting it cleared, and back out onto the racetrack they go. Kenneth Portis holds on to the fastest lap of the race, a 131.177. And Matt Artem's day is about to get a lot harder because Renato Dornelis is lurking in the rear view mirror. Number 3, who started off in 2nd place, now behind Matt Artem, only down 4 positions after a big lap 1 incident. How big that 414 rear end is looking. Now Artem's making that Audi R8 LMS very wide right now. Really trying to make his way past Matt Artem. Well, any further incidences here? Upshifting a little bit early through turn 5. Prevent any additional wheel spin from taking place. Matt Artem pumping the brakes a little bit hesitantly there. Now breakaway to the inside line. Go to TV camera 2 to see how Renato is going to try to battle this one out. Goes up the inside line. Artem tries to get the squeeze down on Renato. Loses one position, but now might lose another one due to Chandler Williams. Will he have it covered off? I think he does in the background there. Yes, he does have it covered off fairly well. No, that's not Chandler Williams. That would be his teammate, Thiago Dinarte, excuse me. Of course, Artem has no obligation to pull out of the way for Dinarte. But it might behoove him to do so that he doesn't have a car barreling down on him. We have seen Thiago have a few incidents in this race. Quinn Smith gets punished with a drive-through penalty for violating track limits. That's the 999 car in 8th place right now. Quinn started off in 14th position, has gained 6 off the good and wrestled his way up into 8th place now. Matt Artem still the biggest gainer on the racetrack, up 9 positions overall. Jake Wells and Gil Silverland have gained 8 individually. Started in 10th and 11th respectively, now finishing in 2nd and 3rd. Well, finishing, not even halfway through the race, and I'm already calling it a done deal. Sitting in 2nd and 3rd place, 527 and 400 at Gil Silver. Oh, and Artem having a big moment there, right where we saw him have that incident beforehand. Almost loses it coming through turn 13 one more time. Andre Alex Alfonso gets another drive-through penalty. Man, oh man, worse goes to worse for him. And Matt Artem gets passed by what looks like Thiago Dinarte here. And about 2.1 seconds back is Chandler Williams, the number 17 in 7th place. Then Formato, Wilson Fernandez, Anthony Kelly from F&M. That rounds out your top 10. Houston Eiston in 11th, Quinn Smith in 12th, Eric Gakosian in 13th, but hasn't taken a pit stop yet. Then Alex Hansen, Andre Alex Alfonso, Thiago Dinarte, Jonathan Clifford, and Hunter Davis all have taken their pit stops. Alex Alfonso moving a little bit slowly on the track, but I believe just pulling over to let some other cars by. Gil Silverland gets passed, by Kenneth Portis there. 10-second cap of how this was done, and it looks like just up the inside line. And of course, still holding on to the fastest lap of the race, a 131.612. 132.3 on the previous lap. Gil Silverland with a 133.7. So Gil seemingly knowing like that one was going to happen. Alex Alfonso's been down pit road twice, but still hasn't served his mandatory pit stop. just for 2 drive-through penalties that he's incurred so far. And of course, dives in down pit lane. Gets it stopped just in time, and this will be indicative of what his strategy call might be, as we're just about to get to the halfway point of the race, but not quite there yet. Not going up on the jacks indicates that I don't believe he will be taking tires. Perhaps getting a full fuel load and then rolling back down the racing circuit. A little bit longer than I would have expected Kenneth Forrest to be going down pit road for. There he is on the jacks, excuse me, so perhaps he did take a full fuel load and some tires. 32.3 seconds stationary, obviously did take a set of tires. He was down pit road for that long, and then getting a full fuel service, 30-second transient time as well for him, so a little bit slower than most. Let's check in with Chandler Williams as he's getting chased down by, it looks like, who is that? 99 Jonathan Clifford, but he's also chasing down Matt Artem. Looks like Clifford is getting battling with, looks like, Chandler Williams. Worst camera shots in the world, I swear. This track needs severe updates as far as the cameras are concerned. Looks like Chandler Williams gets past Jonathan Clifford. Now the battle between himself and Matt Artem shall resume. Taking a quick hydrate here. Stand by, everybody. Separating drivers. 33.2 to a 33.1. Matt Artem leads Chandler Williams by just a little bit of time. Chandler Williams 0.3 faster on that previous lap. Even while fighting off the big red dog in the background. Here goes a look from Chandler Williams looking at the back of that Artem. diving up the inside line. There was some contact there between Chandler Williams and Matt Artem, and there's even more contact between Matt Artem and Chandler Williams. Let's see if we can get an incident review and see how Jonathan Clifford got tangled up in that. Oh, and that was how Jonathan Clifford got involved there. Battle between Quinn Smith and Houston Eiston. Whoa, that was a nasty switchback that almost worked, but touching the rear end of Houston Eiston was Quinn Smith, and that's definitely going to get looked at by the stewards. Between the 414 and the 17. See if we can get a review of this one. Oh, that's where Chandler Williams ran into the back of Matt Artem. Unsettled his car just a little bit there. Second incident, 414 and 17. Touch there in the ruckus for the 414. And then diving up the inside line, Matt Artem gets the switchback engaged. And then runs a little bit wide, and then, oof. I definitely would not want to be a steward monitoring this event. Seems like more than half the grid was involved with incidences of some sort. And Andre Alex Alfonso gets another drive-through penalty, or may have just never have cleared his original penalty. That would be his third drive-through penalty, if I'm not mistaken. Houston Eiston down pit road he goes after getting his rear end chopped off by Quinn Smith driving the 999. Now we've got some major gaps up and down the field. We've got Kenneth Portis chasing down Eric Gakassian. Other than that, we're seeing multiple second gaps between the drivers. It seems the drivers just could not be patient tonight with some of their overtaking opportunities. And Kenneth Portis II gets walked right on by Eric Gakassian, leaving the door wide open. Checking in with Jaid Hutchinson as he comes around turn 11 now. He's about 9.8 seconds in the lead from Jake Wells. Renato Dornelis 14.7 seconds back from Jake. Gil Chauvelin 6.7 seconds back from Renato. Matt Artem in 5th, 6.1 away from Gil. Chandler Williams 2.6 away from Matt Artem. Alex Hansen, the 390, stranded at turn 13, it looks like. Let's see if we can find out what happened to that 390 car. Coming in a little hot and heavy off the green stuff, gets lost in the sauce, makes a little bit of love tonight with that barrier, and then has to get pointed in the right way yet again. Gil Silverland comes down pit road right at the halfway point of the race. And I imagine that this will trickle down the field and trigger some more pit stops for the rest of the drivers. Trying to keep an eye on the rest of the field and find out what's going on here, but not seeing a whole lot of changes. At Artem down pit road he goes. The 84 of Kenneth Portis should be able to get that position by Matt Artem. It does. 400 also should get past Artem here. Gil just hit about a lap ago. There it is. Gil Silverland re-inherits that position in front of Matt Artem. Artem into clear air. Jake Wells comes down pit road. Renato Dornelis inherits second place of the race, about 25 seconds behind Jade Hutchinson. Michael Formato is going a little bit slowly coming out of 14. Assume that was due to lap traffic. I'm seeing the number 7 on his radar. The drivers who have taken their pit stop indicated by the green dots next to their name, or the green bars next to their name, and the drivers with the white 1 in the orange bar, that will be the remaining number of pit stops that they'll have to take to make it to the end. We've seen Jade Hutchinson do it in the past. He might do it on this race also. Take a short splash and dash and make it to the very end. But we'll have to keep an eye on that, see how he fares. Quinn Smith chasing down Alex Hansen. The 390 leads over the 999. But for how long can the 390 keep it up for? Quinn Smith has been on a bit of a rampage, even with that drive-through penalty that he's gotten. There it is, the move up the inside line from the 999, gets through on Alex Hansen. A big twist there coming through the double right-hander from 4 through 5. Checking in further back, this is Houston Eiston chasing down Erica Kassian, the number 5 and the 121. That should be the number 7 of Anthony Kelly ahead of them, 6th place. Here's Houston chasing down Erica Kassian. There it is, a 1/10 gap, almost nothing now. Erica covers him off pretty well coming into Aspar, turn 1. The gap opens up to around 1 second separating the two of them. On the front bonnet with Houston Eiston. Driving the lonely Lamborghini out on the racing circuit tonight. Coming through turn 6, Nieto. Through Afixion in turn 8. Coming out of 14, Campus. Gap is now half a second separating Houston Eiston from Erica Kassian. I don't think he'll have enough slipstream here to make a move going into turn 1, but potentially move going into 4 and 5 as we saw previously from Quinn Smith. Because the inside line looks at doing. I think that's a futile effort there. Gear shift up a little bit early. This is the closest battle on track by a long shot right now. Erica Kassian chasing down Anthony Kelly, who has not taken his pit stop yet. Kassian and Eiston both have taken their pit stop and are on fresher tires. 133.2, 133.4. Kassian and Eiston, respectively. 133.4 from Anthony Kelly from FNL. 3 of Renato Dornelis down pit road now. There is Dornelis coming out right behind Houston. Now this is his opportunity to go up the inside line on Kassian coming into turn 2 doing, but doesn't make the full commitment there through turn 3, single file line is the nature of the beast between the two of them. And it looks like the 1-2-1 lets by the 3. Relatively easy lap traffic giveth, lap traffic taketh away. Not on this occasion, though. Not for Renato. "28 minutes and 40 seconds remaining left on the clock, folks. Just under a half an hour of driving for all the participants here tonight. We've got 18 of them remaining in this championship series. Through on Eric Lucasi also. And here goes another look from Houston up the inside of of Eric Kakassian, excuse me. Timing tower. I think everything is pretty separated. Here goes Jonathan Clifford, now caught up to the rear end of Alex Hansen to 390. 13.8 seconds separating Alex Hansen from Quinn Smith further up the road, but 3/10 separating Jonathan Clifford from Alex Hansen, 32.4 compared to a 35.6. Alex Hansen obviously the slower of the two, as Clifford was able to catch up very easily. Thiago Dinarte under threat from Quinn Smith, 4/10, the gap between the 23 and the 999. You can see them coming through turn 4 right about now. And there goes a move from Jonathan Clifford up the inside line at turn 2 Dewins. And Alex Hansen won't snap back too aggressively on this occasion. That'll be move and position gain for Jonathan Clifford. Quinn Smith driving the 999 in 12th position. There it is, move around the outside line and door banging galore between Quinn Smith and Thiago Dinarte. The 999 and the 23 going after it there. And I think Quinn is probably saying that he deserved a little bit more track space there. Santiago Dinarte not quite wanting to give it up. Renato Dornelis chasing down Anthony Kelly from F&M. Fear Nothing Moto making a little bit of mistake coming through 14 of campus. This will give Dornelis a little bit of a run opportunity, and chasing each other down, the McLarens looking, whoa, there's a lot of weaving coming down the straightaway there. And Dornelis staying on one line for the most part. Wow, that was a big look to the inside line, but it looks like the Fear Nothing Moto car was really holding on there and didn't want to sacrifice anything. All this battling has allowed Jake Wells to catch back up to Renato Dornelis and Anthony Kelly. Kelly not taking a pit stop just yet. So this really isn't a battle for position on track, as Kelly should come down pit road in about, well, he's got 22 minutes to decide when he wants to come down to pit road. Fiesta says Kelly needs to be sent to the principal's office for this. For what? For driving? Kelly loses 2 positions in 1. So you're saying he shouldn't battle like he still has a race? I'm just going to go ahead and ignore you, Fiesta. Thank you very much for your comments. He still has a race that he's trying to be a part of. I don't know what world he's not allowed to defend a position. But anyways, Jake Wells and Renato Dornelis are battling for position, and hopefully Fiesta agrees with me on this one. 3/10 separating the 2 drivers that have taken a pit stop. He's not obligated to do anything. He's not a blue flag. He's not obligated to do anything. He doesn't need to move out of the way. He can defend as hard as he wants. It's a race. Everybody's obligated to think, or everybody has their availability to think what they want to think. I will never take that away from them. But still, it's you can still be wrong and be dead. You know? Just like bicycle riders, or you can still be right and still be dead. Just like a bicycle rider, just like a motorcycle rider, you can still be right and be dead at the same time. There's a smart move and there's a wrong move to make, and I didn't see anything wrong with it. The only thing that I would send him to the principal's office for is potentially weaving on the straight, moving more than twice in a straight line, but that's about it. And I think that would be a slap on the wrist. Yeah, exactly. He's not being lapped. There are no blue flags. And depending on which blue flag rules you actually follow, obviously Trackalicious has its own set of rules, but in endurance racing and multi-class racing, blue flags don't mean anything to anybody. You have no obligation to get out of the way. I had this happen in the league. I was expecting a different pit strategy, and the person behind had pitted and wanted me to move out of the way and tried to open a ticket for it and lost. Transplant, that is a... I had this happen in the league. I was executing a different pit strategy, and the person behind it pitted. Let me read your comment one more time. Transplant says, I had this happen in the league. I was executing a different pit strategy, and the person behind had pitted and wanted to move out of the way and tried to open a ticket for it and lost. The person behind had pitted and wanted you to move out of the way, and they tried to open up a ticket for it and lost. Yes. Yes, and then they lost to the stewards. Yes, that makes sense. There's no obligation for you to move out of the way. Thank you, Transplant. Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page on this one. Yes, there's no obligation to move out of the way. Because you're exactly right. With that same logic, if I pit on lap 1, I would have everybody. I would move. maybe that's the strategy to pull out. Pit on lap 1, and when you get behind someone, they have to get out of your way. That would be the most comedic way to win a race I've ever heard of. That would be the most comedic thing ever. All this arguing has distracted me from this battle between Jake Wells and Renato Dornelis. I apologize, but these two guys are glued to each other's bumpers like license plates. Let's actually go to the helmet camera so we can see the wheel of Jake Wells. Drive-through penalty for Mato. The heart and soul of Fear Nothing Moto. Whoa, Jake Wells. Really going to the alternate line there, coming out of 14. Back in line. Let's go back to that helmet camera. I love this one so much. Jax James says, I guess we shouldn't beat a dead horse. No, we shouldn't. If I'm not blue flagged, I'm not moving out of the way unless it violates the league's blue flag rules, which usually is within one lap unless they're using F1 rules moving immediately. Any league that uses F1 rules for a GT3 league needs to be shot in the face. And I mean that with all earnesty in my heart. This is not Formula One, this is GT3 racing. There's completely different rules here. Amazing overtaking opportunities here for Jake Wells behind. Oh, and there's a touch between Jake Wells and Renato Dornelis. An immediate remorse there from Jake Wells as he slows down to try to give the position back, but knows he's going to have to hand it over to the stewards as Renato Dornelis. Oh, man. Let's see if we can get an incident review of that one. Accident between the 527 and the number 3. Go over to the helicam for this one. Jake Wells trying to get a switchback engaged. Renato Dornelis not allowing that to happen. Jake Wells moves to the inside line while Renato's turning in and carrying much more speed through there. I don't know who's to blame there. It might be Jake Wells' fault. I mean, you have a hard time explaining yourselves to the stewards when you run into something that you can see, but the speed differential was just so big there. I'm not one to call that a racing incident, but that's a close one. I mean, sounds like a slap on the wrist is coming for Jake Wells out of this race. Jade Hutchinson and Chandler Williams both have to pit. Renato Dornelis did lose out a couple positions. He's back down into 5th now. Lost the position to Kenneth Portis. Fiesta says, if you don't see the time management advantages for both parties involved, while one still needs to service pit stop, I don't know. Huh? I wish I understood what you were trying to say. Hopefully you can clarify what your point was there. If you don't see the time management advantages for both parties involved, but one still needs to serve a pit stop, I don't know. I don't know. Jade Hutchinson is into the pits, excuse me, on this lap 44 of this 80-minute race. Transplant with a translation for me, saying that it's not worth it to wait out on track that long when you haven't pit yet. What? I think the translation makes less sense than the initial comment. The point is still not getting made here. Goodness gracious. I never thought that this type of conversation would be the conversation. Yeah, Tyler Carr. Exactly the look on my face right now. I am confusion. Oh, man. Sim Race Life is also confused. Yes. A lot of people are confused by your comment, Fiesta 2013. Don't mind. No, I think there's something else to their transplant. I think there's something else. Fiesta 2013, if you could do me a favor and please clarify your point, I'd really appreciate it. English might not be your primary language, so that's okay that we don't understand. We're just trying to get your words said properly to try to defend your points yet again. I think a lot of people are missing the point of what you're trying to say here. Oh, man. I didn't think that this would be the conversation that brings a light to my life tonight. I had no idea. Chandler Williams down pit road he goes. That'll be the last of the pit stoppers on my board. Bingo card is fully stay lit. Where is Anthony Kelly? And so even that doesn't make sense, transplant. So because Anthony Kelly never took tires. So I mean he's gonna continue to run slower and slower every single lap because of his tires wear. Transplant. Final attempt for the translation. Time management advantages equals staying out on track and pitting late versus pitting in a timely manner, like everyone else on track, i.e. halfway through the race. That's my guess. If not, then it's lost in translation. Yeah, I still feel like I totally get what you mean, transplant. I am on board with you. Tyler Carr redeems a hydrate. Thank you. Let me get a sip of water before I finish my sentence. Transplant, I get you, bud. I get you. Presumably, he's saying if you haven't pit yet and stayed on track with possibly being slower with worn tires, etc., you're defending a position that you know you're going to lose anyways, etc. I get it. Time management advantage equals staying out on track and pitting late versus pitting in a timely manner like everyone else on track, maybe halfway through the race. That's my guess. If not, then it's lost in translation. What still doesn't make sense to me, though, is Anthony Kelly, the driver we're talking about, never took tires. He was never going to take tires. Jaid Hutchinson is kind of the prime example of it. He took a 5.4 second stationary, never took tires. He was in the lead of this race by 37 seconds. He could have taken tires if he wanted to, decided not to. He's still putting down fast laps, 32.7. His last lap around. His best lap, 132.1. Tyler Carr with another hydrate. No, that's the same hydrate from earlier. Sorry, I'm getting lost here. Mommy's favorite accident. The more I read, the more confusion I am. I agree. I am right there with you. I'm just looking at data right now that proves otherwise. You know what I mean? It's just looking at pure data that proves, Transplant says, I deal with this all the time because my strategy is almost always to pit lane, so people are always trying to argue that I should move out of the way. To your point, you're right, Tyler, yes. Sim Race Life says, even if on worn tires and you're slower than the car behind, still no reason to not defend your positions. Thank you. Not trying to single you out here, Fiesta 2013, but you're wrong. You're just straight up wrong. Oh, God. Fiesta 2013. 13 probably being the year he was born. Xander Zone gives me a hydrate. Thank you very much, Xander Zone. Because anything can happen. It's an 80-minute race. Anything can happen. Giving up 4 seconds to let 2 cars by could ruin your race. You're minimizing the time down pit lane. Anthony Kelly with a 12.1 second stationary took a splash and dash, headed back out again. 4 seconds could have put him right into the clutches of Quinn Smith, who's 9.5 seconds behind right now. Is that something he wanted to do? A 4-second pit stop or a 4-second advantage could have put him in front of Gil Silverland right now. These are championship points for the chance to go from sim rig to in real life rig. Put on a real Hans device and go racing. Hunter Davis going a little bit slowly, driving the number 70 right now. Mommy's favorite accident. I joined the stream late. Anything wild and exotic happen? Man, you missed a very exciting lap 1, turn 1 that led to half the field getting crashed out. That was pretty exciting. Then we had some 2 wides, 3 wides through the infield section on lap 2 that led to another half of the field getting crashed out. Then ever since then, it's been and then other than that, it's been pretty quiet. Jake Wells in P2 behind Jaid Hutchinson. Kenneth Porce II, 7.2 seconds back. Renato Dornella 6 seconds away. Chandler Williams in 5th place. Wilson Fernandez, Matt Artem in 7th. Gil Silverland, Anthony Kelly, Quinn Smith, Thiago Denarte, Michael Formato, Jonathan Clifford, the Big Red Dog, Hunter Davis, Alex Hansen, Eric Acosta, and Houston Ice. Hopefully that clears things up for you. Mommy's favorite accident. Yeah, and this very spicy this trackside discussion that we're having about basically if you are a car that has not taken a pit stop yet, are you allowed to defend a position to a car that has already taken a pit stop? Spicy conversation that we got involved in. I took a formidable point on that one. And would not back down, would not surrender, and may have made some enemies for the Tracklicious community by doing so, but the majority of the stream seems to agree with me, and I'll take that to my grave, that I got the accolades of the sim racing community to support me in my decision to be a vigilante and just pick a point and stick to it. I wonder if as a moderator I can see if he's still here. Nope, he's not. He's not here anymore. He gone. Oh, he gone. Just like what?
Okay.
Just like Tom Petty, Saga won't back down. Oh man. There goes Jonathan Clifford, the Big Red Dog, through a Michael Formato. And that is a pass for position overall. Formato opened the door. Clifford, the Big Red Dog, drove right on through. Excuse me. Jaid Hutchinson on the final lap of this race. We'll end it on lap 52 of this 80-minute race. Coming around turn 8, turn 9, turn 10, making a right turn, coming around turn 11, another right-hand turn, and he's going to go crazy, Jaid Hutchinson. No, I'm just kidding. Then Jake Wells will bring it home in P2, 35.5 seconds later. Actually would have been a great race for Jake Wells. He would have been 5.3 seconds behind Jaid Hutchinson had he decided to not take tires. Could have asked him about that in the post-race interview. Jaid Hutchinson takes the win for the Visceral Esports team. Jake Wells in P2. Well, like I said, about 35 seconds later. And I think mathematically, it might be solidified for Jade Hutchinson to get the Pro 2 Pavement Championship win and get the 500 buckaroos in his pocket for the track day travel expenses. Jake Wells crosses the line in P2. Kenneth Borders II will cross the line in third place overall with the fastest lap of the race, getting the extra imaginary point with a 32.272. Renato Dornelis with his recovery drive into fourth place. The number 3, Chandler Williams, crossing the line in the number 17 in fifth. Wilson Fernandez, the 888, in sixth place. Matt Artem will be bringing it around turn 14 here in just a few moments, followed by Gil Silverland in 8th, then Anthony Kelly in 9th place. I read the fine print that don't specify what car it will be on the track day for the winner of the challenge. Yeah, it's going to be I believe a Mazda MX-5. And that will be it, folks. Let's head back over to the studio. Oh, hello, everybody. Gotta brush my hair a little bit. Let's see if anybody wants to come down for an interview. Interview time. Head over to the green room in the stream team green room in the Tracklicious chat, and I'll go ahead and drag you in for an interview, folks. Great racing, everybody. Yeah, I believe it'll be the Mazda MX-5 that's in the calendar, and we'll talk about the calendar for just a second. Great race, everybody. Looking at the calendar, yeah, see, there's the MX-5 in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. I'm pretty sure that's what everybody will get to drive. Not everybody, but the winner of the championship will get to drive. GT3 Rookies on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be headed to Mazzano for a 20-minute doubleheader, followed by afterwards will be the GT4 Open Championship for their 50-minute race. The GT3 West Coast Championship will be on Wednesday at Centerton, then Brands Hatch for their finale. GT3 Championship on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Will be at the Charlotte Roval on February 27th for their 60-minute race. Multi-Class Masters Championship on Fridays. That will be at San Paulo on March 7th. And then Spa-Francorchamps for the Orica Masters Cup this upcoming Friday. The Pro 2 Pavement GT3 Championship has just finished up at Valencia. Next week, this time will be March 2nd, and we'll be headed to Watkins Glen for the penultimate race, and then Paul Ricard on March 9th for an 80-minute race. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. Thank you very much for sticking around. Let's see if we can find someone to raid very quickly before we lose all of our followers. We're going to go ahead and raid Daniel Gray. Yeah, I think it's an NA Mazda MX-5. Daniel Gray is racing around Bathurst right now, so we'll go ahead and raid him. Thank you, everybody, and as always, make sure you stay safe out there. Bye-bye.